Hello everybody. Today I'm going to cover what's called a moving multiplier, and specifically how it relates to multiplying a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number. Now I've written the steps in this format, and it'll be more clear as we proceed. So let's do an example and then everything will get clear and you'll know what the term moving multiplier even refers to. So let's do 123. We'll say example 1. 123 times, let's keep it easy to start, okay? 14. Okay? Now, step 1 says we multiply the left two numbers. So 1 times 1 is just 1. Step 2 involves the sum of the cross products here. So in this case, it'll be 2 times 1 plus 4 times 1. So 2 times 1 is 2, 4 times 1 is 4, 2 plus 4 is 6. So I'm going to put a 6 over here. Okay? Now, as you see in step 3, the 2 dots at the bottom moved. So we want to be able to do this mentally. It's going to be this times this plus this times this, but it might be easier to actually write the multiplier being moved to start. So this step right here, as you can see, I shifted the 14 one space right, is going to involve the sum of these cross products. So 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 1 is 3, 8 plus 3 is 11, 11 goes here. And as you can see, the last step involves the rightmost two numbers, so 3 times 4. And it will also be 3 times 4 over here. So that becomes 12. How do we arrive at our final answer? We retain the ones digit and add the tens digit. So here's what I mean by that. I'm going to start with the 2. I keep the 2. 1 plus 11 is 12. So that means I'm going to keep the 2, add the 1 here. 6 plus 1 is 7. Nothing to carry, and then I keep the 1. So my answer is 1,722. Okay? I recommend you pause this video and write down the steps because I'm not going to refer to them in the next example. Okay? So we have 4 steps in this example, and we want to get to the point where we can visualize this 14 multiplier being moved to the right. Okay? So the steps are going to be this times this, the sum of this times this, and this times this. And then the third step is this times this, plus this times this, and then the fourth step is this times this. It really doesn't seem that hard once you break it down, okay? So let's do another example, okay? So example 2. Let's keep the numbers a little bit bigger. So 346 times 43. Okay? Step 1, 4 times 3 is 12. Step 2 is the sum of these cross products. So 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. By the way, it doesn't matter if you start here or here. You know, I could say 3 times 3 is 9 plus 16 is 25. I could also say 16 plus 9 is 25. Addition is commutative. That means order doesn't matter when you add. All right? So now I'm at step 3, and if you remember, we want to visualize this 43 being shifted over one space to the right. So I'm going to cover this up to help me out and ignore this because we're at a different step. It's going to be 6 times 4 plus 4 times 3. So let's think about that. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. 24 plus 12 is 36. So I'm going to put a 36 over here. And the last step involves the right two most numbers. 6 times 3 is 18. So I need to do one more set of additions to get my final answer and carry. So I'm going to keep the 8, carry the 1. 36 plus 1 is 37. So I'm going to keep the 7, carry the 3. 25 plus 3 is 28. So I'm going to keep the 8, carry the 2. 12 plus 2 is 14. So my answer is 14,878. And look how much less room, how much less work I had to show, okay? So let's get ready for a different example. We're gonna make the numbers a little bit bigger this time, okay? So let's do example 3. So let's do 828 times 71. Okay, and then we'll do one final example with really big carries and stuff. So step 1, 8 times 7, 56. Step 2, the sum of these cross products. So 8 times 1 plus 2 times 7. Right? 8 times 1 is 8. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 8 is 22. So I'll put a 22 here. Now I'm at this step here, so I'm going to cover the 8. Help me out. Now, 8 times 7 plus 2 times 1. Right? So 8 times 7 is 56. 2 times 1 is just 2. 56 plus 2 is 58. Right? And then the last step is 8 times 1 is just 8. Right? This is still a 1. It just might have looked a little funny once I did that line, okay? So, right to left, keep the 8 here, keep the 8 here, but I have to carry the 5 here. 22 plus 5 is 27, so I keep the 7, carry the 2 here, and at this step, we just write the whole number. 56 plus 2 is 58. Okay, 58,788, final answer. Okay, let's do one final one with some big carries. Okay. So this is example 4. 987 times 86. So it's going to be a lot of carries here, okay? So this is a good final example. Step 1, 9 times 8, 72. That goes right here. Slash. What's the sum of these cross products? So 9 times 6 is 54. 8 times 8 is 64. So let's think about this carefully because it's a little bit tougher now. 54 plus 64. So that's 118, right? 54 plus 64. If you're having trouble doing that mentally, you want to get to the point where you could do this mentally, but, you could always do it that way, okay? So we get 118 slash, cover the 9 up, and it's going to be the sum of these cross products now. So 7 times 8 plus 6 times 8. So 7 times 8 is 56. 8 times 6 is 48. What's 56 plus 48? So here's the way I would do it. 56 plus 50 is 106. Then let's take away 2 to get 104, okay? And then now we have 7 times 6 is 42. It's the last step. Okay, so what do we do here? I'm going to keep the 2, carry the 4. So 104 plus 4 is 108, so it's 108. So I'm going to keep the 8, carry the 10 over here. So this becomes 118 plus 10, 128. So it's 128, right? So I'm going to keep the 8, carry the 12. So 72 plus 12 is 84. Okay, this is a tougher example because it had a lot of carries, okay? All right, let's just actually do one final. I know I said this is the last one, but 5 is a good example. 5 is a good number to close it out with, and this will be, again, another example with lots of carries, okay? So, last example. So I'm going to say 879 times 98. Okay? 8 times 9, 72. Sum of these cross products. So 8 times 8 is 64. 9 times 7 is 63. What is 64 plus 63? That's 127. Now I move over to these cross products. So 9 times 9 is 81. 81 plus 56 is 137. Okay, and the last step is 9 times 8 right here, 72. And now I'm going to keep the units digit, carry the tens digit. So keep the 2, carry the 7. What's 137 plus 7? That's going to be 144, okay? So I'm going to keep the 4, carry the 14 here. What's 127 plus 14? So I'm going to add 10 and then add 4. So 137 plus 4 is 141. So I'm going to keep the 1, carry the 14. 72 plus 14 is 86. So final answer, 86,142. Okay? Good job. And the more you practice, the more you'll be able to do mentally, okay? So